And there we go. Hello everybody, welcome to another Trolley Tuesday. Today I have another very special engine. This was the one I was alluding to in the last video. This is my Rapid Transit number 103, built by Mini Toys back in the 1950s. Yes, this is a Mini Toys trolley. Now I know what some people are going to ask, why is it that this looks like a Bowser car? And why is it weird, and how come it can go backwards and forwards instead of just one direction? Well, I will get to all that. So for anyone who obviously might not know, the Bowser Company actually acquired most of its molds and stock from other companies. They didn't exactly build a lot of their own stuff, and the stuff that they did build was stuff that was already existing. So before the Pitman Trolley Company, or at least the Pitman Model Company, they made trolleys that look exactly like this, went out of business. They actually sold a lot of their molds and parts to the Mini Toys Company, and they made two trolleys, the 102 and the 103. The one that you see before you is the 103 Rapid Transit. The other one, which is numbered 102, is public transit, which is kind of interesting. The 102 is considerably more rarer than the 103, which is surprising because when I bought this, I originally thought it was a 102 and not a 103. And I do have the original box for this car. Now, what makes these cars special is the fact that they have E-units in them. Bowser cars can be retrofitted with a Lionel E-unit. However, you have to install that yourself. They do not come pre-installed, like this one is. And you can actually see it in there. There's the solenoid lever, and then there's the little arm that grabs and flips back and forth. Let me see if I can actually show you. There it is, moving back and forth. Anyway, so for a few years, maybe like 3 or 4 years, the Mini Toys Company made these trolleys. And then they sold the molds to the Bowser Model Company. And then they started producing these cars, which is interesting, except they didn't have the E-units. However, they had the same body shell. And I know some people are going to say, how can you tell the difference between a Bowser built car and a Pitman car? And the difference is in the shell. So as you see right here, you notice that there are these little grooves cut into the mold. This is to simulate decking on the front of the car. They're supposed to be wood decking. And the slots that are cut for this are very thin and they're very close together. The windows are also a lot thinner on these cars. They're very thin and they're very tall. But on the Bowser cars, they're actually a little bit thicker, and the lines are a lot thicker and more spaced out. And also the truck design is slightly different. The way these ones are held on, it's a single cast piece with a rivet in the center rather than a two-piece screw and bolt system that is used. Also, the pickups are different. So here's the main drive. It's pretty much identical to the Bowser cars, but the pickups are completely different. Instead of having two rollers, I call this a pantograph pickup because it looks like one. You've got these two little copper pieces, and these look incredibly similar to a Marx pickup shoe. And of course, it's very, very long, which is what I really love about these cars, is that this pickup shoe is so big, you can go over switches with it without it cutting out on you. If you stop on a switch, that's different. But you can still run over a switch and it won't die out on you because it's got that nice big electrical footprint for the third rail. Now mine is been very well loved. In fact, if you can't already see, there's spots where the yellow isn't quite the same shade as the body, and that's because I've touched this car up quite a bit after getting it. In fact, there's a large gouge on the other side that I had to completely repaint, because it is impossible to find one of these in mint condition for under $100. I mean, heck, mine had a couple of dents and a bunch of scratches, and I paid like over 70 for one of these things. That, and I had to completely rebuild the truck because these little plastic rivets pop out very easily. When this car runs, half the time it'll just slide out and then it'll just do this. And this piece is metal. The rivet is plastic, but the housing, the frame is metal. So it'll touch that rail and then bzz, and then you've got to shut the power off. You got to go and you got to pop that back into there, and then you can turn it back on again, and then it'll roll without causing an arc. But overall, I'd suggest if you see one, definitely think about it before getting it. Also, the plastic on the roofs, because yes, the roofs are entirely made out of plastic, they are very brittle and are prone to cracking. Mine already has 3 massive cracks in it, and I've already had to glue 2 of them back together because of that. But yeah, overall though, it's one of my favorite cars and definitely one of the rarest pieces in my collection, just due to how very few of these actually are still around. So yeah, hope to see you guys in the next Trolley Tuesdays.